Ariane Tanakis is an aspiring filmmaker. He approaches his work as an artist explorer, attempting to discover through the eyepiece visual elements that will express an idea or capture a feeling. To that end, he's making a video art piece with still images captured on black and white film, often creating double and triple exposures. His approach is a blend of calculation and chance. It's his attraction to this location, the fish ladder on the Grand River in Grand Rapids, Michigan, that caught our attention. The river stories that are most interesting to us are the ones about unique relationships to the river.
The fish ladder has always been kind of like an important landmark in my personal life. My best friend, she took me to the fish ladder, and I had actually never been there before. We just sat on the bank of the river, and you get that huge overlook of the city, and it's from a pretty low angle, so you feel very small in comparison. I kind of had like feeling like a very small part of something larger. So it was kind of like, the beginning of an epiphany. That's a good way to put it. This project has come at the most transitionary time in my life. I went through a bad accident, and at the same time, I'm finishing college. I've been in school my whole life, and now I'm out into the real world. And this project has been the perfect thing to work on because it's all about progression. This project stemmed from feeling a little bit lost in life. I lost my car, my mode of transportation throughout the entire winter. Couldn't go anywhere, really, totally stranded. But the fish ladder is also within walking distance from my home. I felt this like gravitational pull to come back to this same location that at one point provided a sense of meaning and inclusion. I returned there with my camera to capture and understand what I was feeling in that place. I would say that my understanding of both myself and my environment around me is very much through camera, through the lens. Something this project has made me pursue is mindfulness through photography and place. I would consider myself a very anxious person, This project has kind of been a practice in using photography to ground myself. I would basically go down there every day with a camera and document different views of the space, but also the people there became a huge focus. Seeing the different people like fishing on the banks and the people passing through. I go down to the location and I talk to the people as a method of like finding my space within the community, I suppose, at the fish ladder. One thing that was very cool about shooting this project so far is they've kind of taken me into their world as well. Some of these really gruff looking fisher dudes who I've got no business with. Now I do, because they see me reoccurring at the same location with the camera, and they're asking me questions, and some of them have even added me on social media, and I'll see when they're there fishing because they like for me to go and take pictures of them once they catch fish. It's been surprisingly welcoming. I originally started the project as feeling like a silent observer, and now at this point, I feel very much as if I've entered upon another world that I at first was not familiar with. It's been a way of connecting to people that I never would have been able to beforehand, because I'm also a pretty shy person, but when there's a camera in the hand, that barrier very much disappears. To complete my film and video degree, I needed a senior thesis project. it was a no-brainer to incorporate the fish ladder into that. My formal training is in commercial film and video production, but I very much wanted to create an art film that celebrates my love for both mediums. I've been shooting 35 millimeter black and white film and double exposing multiple images onto the same roll in order to get different perspectives of the same space. The double exposure process can be very tricky in that sometimes you get what you get and other times you can carefully plan. And that has also been kind of the mindset of the project. Welcoming unpredictability, but also trying to dissect what's going on and see where that can take me in the future. So like at first this project started and it was very focused on, the architecture, the river, and then it very much became like the feeling and the people that bring the character to the space. The connectivity is something that we all feel in the space, but maybe no one can really place their finger on what it is that brings us there. Is it the river? Is there a natural desire to be by these bodies of water? I think there definitely is. There's a pull, and you can even see it with your own eyes. Like, you can get very lost in the motion of the water. It's very hypnotizing. One thing that I've kind of found about the space is there is almost a direct conflict in between so many things. It's like a drama or a dance, and you can almost see it from the dam. It's like all of this water flowing so smoothly, and then once it goes off that dam, immediately rapids, and it's like flowing continuously, and there's this juxtaposition between this overwhelming sense of calm and this flowing into the future. That is something that has kind of grounded me in this experience. I'm seeing all of this movement, but at the same time, it's rhythm, it's harmony, it's organized. There's almost a dance between the natural environment and structure. They're living both like in harmony, but also in direct conflict from one another. The fish and the fishermen, they both have their places in this space, but at this moment they're like coexisting. I've had the idea of the fish ladder being kind of a symbolic location of uphill struggle and progress. These fish are constantly fighting upstream for survival, and they've got to come through this like central space. This project overall has been a very self-reflective and meditative state of mind, and it came into my life where I was looking for a change and found that inspiration in the uphill or the upstream struggle of these migrating fish. I'm hoping the viewer watches this project and reevaluates their place in their environment and become more of an active observer. I'm hoping that that kind of inspires the viewer to go out and find a space that really speaks to them. What I've gotten out of the process of photographing repeatedly at the fish ladder, it has been surprisingly motivational and fulfilling. I spent a good majority of time over the past year feeling very uncertain about what I was doing. But going out there and photographing the space, it's like, oh yeah, this is what I was meant to do. Go out and find my place within the world through the lens of a camera.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit like, subscribe to stay in touch, and send the link to friends with an invitation to join us in sharing some river stories.